Have you ever walked into a room feeling like every single person is watching you? Or maybe you've said something embarrassing and assumed everyone noticed and is still thinking about it? Well, you're not alone. This feeling is called the spotlight effect, and it's a psychological phenomenon we all experience at some point in our lives. But here's the thing. Most people aren't paying nearly as much attention to you as you think they are. Let's explore why we feel this way and how we can overcome it. The spotlight effect is a cognitive bias where we overestimate the extent to which others notice and judge our actions, appearance, or mistakes. Essentially, we think that others are focusing on us far more than they actually are. This is a common experience, especially in social situations, and it stems from how we see the world. Since we are the center of our own universe, it feels like we are also at the center of everyone else's. But in reality, people are much more focused on themselves. Imagine you spill coffee on your shirt before a meeting. You spend the entire time feeling like everyone is staring at the stain. But in reality, most people either didn't notice or forgot about it after a minute. So, why do we experience the spotlight effect? It has to do with how our brains process social information. Here's a look at the psychological reasons behind this bias. Egocentrism. Humans are naturally egocentric in their thinking. This doesn't mean we're all self-absorbed, but it does mean that we view the world from our own perspective. Because we're constantly aware of our own actions, thoughts, and feelings, we mistakenly assume that others are just as aware of them. Limited cognitive resources. Our brains have limited capacity to process all the information around us, so we often focus on things that seem important. In social settings, that important thing is usually ourselves, even though others are doing the same for themselves. Self-consciousness. When we're anxious or self-conscious, it amplifies the spotlight effect. We become hyper-aware of everything we say and do, which makes us believe that others are just as tuned in. This is particularly strong in moments of embarrassment or when we feel insecure. Several psychological studies have been conducted to better understand the spotlight effect. One of the most famous studies was carried out by Thomas Gilovich and his colleagues in 2000. In their experiment, participants were asked to wear embarrassing t-shirts, like one with a big picture of Barry Manilow on it, and then enter a room full of people. The participants were later asked how many people they thought noticed their shirt. Participants consistently overestimated the number of people who paid attention to them. The truth was, very few people even noticed the shirt at all. This shows how much we overestimate the attention others give us in everyday situations. Let's look at some common real-life situations where the spotlight effect comes into play. One of the most common situations where people feel the spotlight effect is during public speaking. We often imagine that the audience is scrutinizing every word and gesture, but in reality, most of the audience is likely thinking about what they'll have for lunch or worrying about their own presentations. When we meet someone new, especially in social gatherings, we might think they're judging our appearance, the way we talk, or what we say. In truth, they're probably focused on how they're coming across to you. Whether you trip while walking or stumble over your words during a conversation, it's easy to feel like everyone around you noticed. But just like how we forget other people's small mistakes, they'll quickly forget ours too. Now that we understand the spotlight effect, let's talk about overcoming it. Challenge your thoughts. When you feel watched, ask yourself, is this true? Most of the time, it's just your mind exaggerating. People are usually too busy thinking about themselves. Focus on others. Ask questions. Show interest. This diverts your attention from your own perceived spotlight. Practice self-compassion. Everyone makes mistakes. Exposure helps. The more you face it, the less intense it becomes. Over time, you'll realize people aren't as focused on you as you think. The spotlight effect doesn't just impact our individual experience. It can also affect our relationships and how we interact with others. When we believe others are constantly judging us, it can make us hesitant to try new things, form new connections, or express ourselves authentically. Example: In a workplace, someone might avoid sharing their ideas during meetings because they're afraid of being judged. They might think, what if my idea is dumb? What if everyone is thinking I'm not competent? In reality, their colleagues are likely focused on their own tasks and may even be impressed by the idea. Similarly, in social settings, the spotlight effect can prevent us from being our true selves. We might hold back on making jokes or participating in conversations because we think others are analyzing our every move. At the end of the day, the truth is simple. Most people are too busy with their own lives to focus on yours. The spotlight effect is just that, a spotlight we shine on ourselves. But once we realize this, we can let go of some of that unnecessary anxiety and live more freely. Next time you catch yourself feeling like everyone's watching you, remember, they're probably not. And even if they are, they'll forget just as quickly as you forget when someone else makes a small mistake. By learning to manage the spotlight effect, we can be kinder to ourselves and more present in the moment. So go ahead. Wear that shirt you love, speak your mind, and don't worry so much about the crowd. Thanks for watching. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more insights into everyday psychology. See you in the next video.